Worldwide, more than 700 million women alive today were married before their 18th birthday. Boys are also married as children, but girls are disproportionately affected. This is called child marriage, and today I am here to speak up about this issue. Hello, I am Razali. I wanted to speak up about this issue because I wanted to spread the awareness of negative impacts on child marriage to the children and also to the world that some people may not know. What is child marriage? Child marriage is defined as a marriage of a girl or boy before the age of 18. It also refers to both formal and informal unions in which children under the age of 18 live with a partner as if married. In this slide, I will also talk about cultural globalization. So what's cultural globalization? Cultural globalization refers to the transmission of ideas, meanings, and values around the world in such a way as to extend and intensify social relations. Globalization also brings much more aware of cultural identity than before. Why should child marriage issue be globalized? Let's take a look at an example of a girl from Afghanistan whose name is Razali that is forced to get married at a young age. She was only 10 years old when she was engaged to a 50-year-old wealthy farmer. The farmer gave her parents more than $9,000 for her dowry. Because her parents earning less than $30 a day as a laborer make it hard for them to refuse the money. But thanks to UNICEF collaboration with locals and religious leaders to help communities in her village to recognize the negative consequence of child marriage, horizontal marriage was cancelled. This action of helping community to recognize the negative impacts of this issue are called globalization. Now, let's take a look at another example of a 14-year-old girl who is a Syrian refugee and currently living in Lebanon. She stops going to school in 7th grade because she was getting engaged. Lack of financial support for her and her family drive her mother to marry her daughter. Parents are forced to allow their children to marry due to poverty and war. Parents also were in dire needs of funds to help their other children or simply to live. The government is also to blame here because there is no law establishing in the government that sets the minimum age to get married. Lastly, let's take a look at an example of a woman who is also from Afghanistan. She was pregnant when she was only 15 years old. She also experienced a lot of domestic violence from her husband. She mentions during the first week of her marriage, she tried to avoid sexual intercourse with her husband, but then her husband told her parents and she got beat up for that because it was a shame to reject sex from their husband in their culture. After she finally gave in, she was crying and her body went into a shock. She was rushed to the hospital, but no one would call it abuse or marital rape since she is legally a wife to that man. After 10 years of constant, continuous sexual assault, she decided to join a program designed to help victims of domestic violence. She was finally able to file for a divorce and got back to school to be trained as a teacher. Her goal in that program was to push more strictly to enforce law, to end child marriage, and to change the culture in her country. Some people may ask, why should we end child marriage and will it give positive impacts on society? Yes, ending early marriage can lower the number of children dying before the age of 5. It can also lower the chance of children experiencing delayed physical growth due to their mother giving birth to them at a very young age. Child marriage also can have a negative impact on the country's economy and can contribute to an intergenerational cycle of poverty. Other than that, ending child marriage could cut fertility and population growth by a 10. According to World Development Indicator, gains in well-being from global population growth could hit more than $500 billion per year by 2030. Quentin Wadon, a World Bank economist, also stated that child marriage not only put a stop to girls' hopes and dreams, but it also hampers efforts to end poverty and achieve economic growth and equity. Goals that SDGs and UN have suggested to solve this issue are Goal 3. Good health and well-being. Goal 4. Quality education. And Goal 5. Gender equality. Goal 3 has suggested to stop preventable death among newborns and children under the age of 5. and reduce neonatal mortality to 12 per 1,000 births and infant mortality to 25 per 1,000 births. While Goal 4 suggestions are to eliminate gender inequality in education, ensure equal access for all women and men to affordable and quality education, lastly, to have equal access to all levels of education and vocational training. Goal 5 suggested to eliminate all harmful practices such as child marriage, early and forced marriage, and to empower of all girls and women in any respect levels and gender equality. What daily action that we can do? We can start conversation that allow for problems to be openly discussed and solutions to be found. Then, we can encourage schools to provide scholarship for the girls. Lastly, we should practice and demonstrate to children equal decision-making process at home. How can this individual action benefit all of us? These small individual efforts not only can help the girls, but it also can help to promote the common goods and make globalization more sustainable. This will also help to raise awareness the negative impacts of child marriage to everyone around the world. I hope you follow this action and do your part to save the girls around the world. Thank you!